Hello, hello, hello. I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul, and I do have a spiritually based website at unapologeticallysage.com. And you can find me on Instagram as well as Facebook and Twitter under unapologeticallysage.com. Now let's get started. So, thank you for joining me. And once again, I am bringing you Tarot Spills the Tea. All right. So, for this edition of Tarot Spills the Tea, the review recap and the tarot is focused on the burning question that I know I have. I don't know if all of you have it, but you're listening, so hopefully you will get some insight and be entertained. But let's check out, is Dr. Simone faking friendships for TV? Okay, that's the burning question that I have for the Married to Medicine star, Dr. Simone. All right, I have been watching the show. Now, I'm not going to say since the start of it. I don't think I've been watching any reality shows since the start all the way up until the present. Yeah, I can't say that about any of them, but I've been watching it for a very long time. I think I came in maybe season 3. You know what? I came in on whatever season Dr. Heavenly entered, and she came in like a wrecking ball. And she's coming up next, okay? So don't even worry about it. But this one is on focused on is Dr. Simone faking friendships for TV? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. And I know there's a lot of other stuff going on. And I'm not even, let me tell you something. I'm not even paying attention to the antics of the side players, Lisa Nicole and all of that. I don't care. I really don't. She puts me to sleep. So I don't care about that. Um, and I may or may not touch on Dr. Contessa because at first I thought it was fake. I'm gonna be real honest. I thought that was some fake mess in order to get a storyline, but I don't know this last episode. And the thing about it is like, is he really that stupid? Oop, allegedly. Okay, you know what? That brings me to because first of all, I don't like to call anybody stupid, so I take that back. Backspace, alt, control, delete. Just delete that. Now, let's talk about how this is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not, and I repeat, not to be used as facts. All right? All right. Now, let me draw you to the bar at the bottom that is red, and it says just what I said. This is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. Every time you see that bar at the bottom, please know that those words apply. All right, let's sage this out and find out what exactly is going on with Dr. Simone on Married to Medicine. Has she lost her mind? Will we help her find it? Let's see. Okay, so also I want to say real quick too, please excuse my um, coughing or clearing my throat because the allergies are really getting to me. Although I'm getting better. All right, hallelujah. But so for the past, as it relates to the question of is Dr. Simone having fake friendships for TV? Let me first say what the main person that I had in mind and was thinking about was Dr. Jackie. All right. Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, because I have heard already in reality that they're not friends right now. Because you guys, I know you guys should know anyway that they're not recording. We're not seeing these shows in live time, you know. This was recorded like 6 months ago or whatever, maybe even longer than that. Excuse me. So, as of right now, in reality, I've seen on some of these social media spaces that they are not friends. I had seen on some of the social media spaces that they weren't talking at all. And then out of nowhere, I seen or heard or read Simone say that they were friends, and that was a lie. But then I believe Dr. Jackie said on Dr. Heavenly's something that they, she didn't say they weren't talking, but the thing about it is, first of all, if you're friends, you're friends. It's not confusing. What in the world is confusing? It should be no confusion. And this is just extremely weird. So, I said all of that to say this. At the top of my mind and heavy in my heart as I did the cards was the Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone duo dynamic. Okay? But overall, this is going to tell us and actually I was going to say strategy because this home chick got a strategy going. And I kind of sensed it. I'm going to be honest. She's just making moves and scratching and surviving. Good times. All right, so the past is represented by the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. All right, an opportunity is not as lucrative as it appears. So, all right, first thing, first thing that I thought of when I saw that was I remembered how they referenced that Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone both were in practice together at one point, and they split amicably. However, I think I heard something about the money wasn't right. Like Simone wasn't doing her end or her part. Something about the money and Simone. Not saying, okay, alleged. Look at that red bar at the bottom. Let me say that real quick. Angels told me alleged. I'm getting into the red zone. All right. Excuse me. I think some of my angels were attorneys or something. Anyway, but what I'm saying is what I had heard was allegedly, I think something wasn't happening with correctly with the money, not implying that anyone was taking it. It's just the billing was all messed up. Now, that kind of was evident when we saw Simone go into Dr. Simone, all due respect, Dr. Simone go into her own practice earlier on, and her billing was all messed up. And that's when one of these bloggers, and I don't remember who, was saying that was a part of the problem when her and Dr. Jackie was trying to do it. So I've never seen Dr. Jackie's practice have not one hiccup. But when Dr. Simone got going, and I didn't know she was just going on her own, she had hiccup after hiccup after hiccup, and it was very stressful for her. And she talked about it on the show. So, but I'll say allegedly and all that. But just, a reminder, the red bar is on the bottom. So leave me alone. All right. Um, excuse me. And continuing on, these allergies, I'm telling you, it's not cool. So, an opportunity is not as lucrative as it appears. That's in the past. This is relating to friendship. So that's just the first thing that popped in my head. Plus, Cecil had the audacity to at one time, I saw him. Well, actually, I didn't see it. I caught some blogger talking about it, and they played a clip. So I did see it, but I didn't go tune in to him. For whatever reason, I would never tune into no Cecil, Dr. Simone's husband going live. I just wouldn't. I'm not that type of girl. But I am the type of girl that would tune into the latest news on Married to Medicine, and then if they just so happen to play his drunken self, allegedly, talking a bunch of mess, allegedly, then yeah, I'd look at it. So that's what happened. And he had said, he started talking about Dr. Jackie. And I'm like, boy, didn't you learn your lesson with Dr. Heavenly? Now, come on now. Why can't you just bring both of your lips together and keep them tight together? But what he said was they showing Dr. Jackie on there with all of those patients, and is she telling them that it's fake? That it's set up, it's all fake? Allegedly. But he didn't say allegedly. I'm saying allegedly. But this is what this man said. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I be seeing Dr. Jackie being everybody, every celebrity who was pregnant or even thinking about being pregnant or, whatever, thinking about being pregnant. They go to Dr. Jackie. Are you saying like it's a conspiracy? Like Dr. Jackie ain't got no real clients? Like what the hell are you talking about, Mr. Drunken? Um, I don't know. So there's, they say drunk heart, sober mind, something like that. A drunk person speaks the truth. Basically, that's what it's. I don't know about rhymes and riddles, so I'm just gonna say it like that. My point is, throughout these years, I don't know if you guys caught it, but there seems to be a little bit of animosity with them used to having a business together, then they didn't. I know Dr. Simone, what she showed on the show, was she was having issues. I never seen Dr. Jackie. If Dr. Jackie had any kind of issue, honey, she kept that all the way to herself. All right. The only issue she couldn't keep to herself was Curtis and what was in his pants. But anyway, moving right along, that ain't what we talking about. So Cecil made that accusation, which you know, ladies, and I'm talking to the ladies, the divine feminines, our divine masculines sometimes, when we do that pillow talk or whatever, they sometimes say what they shouldn't be saying, and especially when you pour alcohol on them. So I believe that him saying that on live, about her having fake clients, I believe that that's something that Dr. Simone and him discussed. I do not believe that Dr. Jackie has fake clients. I don't. What I kind of think maybe is possibly that they maybe had to redo a scene, like maybe she examined them or something without the cameras, and then asked them to come back and just discuss, general stuff. I don't know. I'm just to be honest, I am giving Cecil like a limb to climb on or whatever. Like I'm trying to help him out basically with his accusation that the clients are fake. That's really stupid. Oh, and I said I wasn't gonna say that, and I done said it twice already. Moving on. So that's what I was thinking. That's the first thing I was thinking. Now, but we're talking about friends, and in the scheme of things, I kind of believe that once Dr. Jackie became friends with, so when we first saw them, they were the dynamic duo. Like I said before, they were together, and they kind of, to me, in my opinion, they were like the stars. They were shining, gleaming, glossing, and shining. And we kind of wanted to know more about Dr. Jackie, but like Dr. Simone was the only one who could get close to her. And they always had a cute, close, personal friendship, and it was them two. And then just to fast forward, what I seen, and like I said, you guys, fast forwarding, when Dr. Jackie began to become social and friends, like close friends, real friends, without cameras, with other Married to Medicine members, that's where the problem began. Point blank and period. Now, Dr. Simone wants to say, like, oh, Heavenly said something crazy to Cecil on Twitter or whatever. Okay, but seriously, it began when Dr. Jackie began to become friends with other people. And I think we all have seen that a little bit in our friendships, whichever side you've been on. Maybe you're the friend who gets jealous and doesn't want your best friend to be friends with anyone. And maybe you are the best friend who began to have new friends in your circle and your main best friend got jealous. Either way, we've all seen it in our life before. And I guess doctors on TV is no different. And that's what happened. So when it says that in the past an opportunity is not as lucrative as it appears, I'm wondering, just looking at the friendship, minus the business, looking at the friendship, because actually that business would have been good, I think, if they were on the same page. Now I think Dr. Jackie doing fine. Um, so I don't know, why they trying to act like she's not lucrative. I think she's doing fine. Okay, but the friendship, maybe it wasn't hitting and benefiting Dr. Simone the way that it used to when it was just those two. I feel like she just didn't want to be in competition with anybody else for Dr. Jackie's friendship. And I don't even believe that it was competition. I think that's just how she felt. Now let's go ahead and go on to the next. I know I have talked long enough. Thank you. Here we are in the present position. And this is where it gets interesting. And actually, it just goes up, 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 and it's stuck from here. It just goes up. Present position, we have the upright, the Emperor card, planning for the greater good. Okay. So this is where, I really had to pay attention. I'm like, girl, Dr. Simone, what you doing? So she's siding with people that she believes she can have unchallenged leadership and longevity with. The emperor will organize and delegate, making sure that resources and skills are employed in the most efficient way possible. The emperor creates order and stability. Dr. Simone tries to make everyone get along except her foes. But I'll touch on that a little bit later. So, this energy in the present position, and it's upright. The Emperor is a beautiful, wonderful, strong card. It's a major arcana. Beautiful to have in the present. But in a friendship read, it's kind of weird because it represents the planning and organizing for the greater good. Okay, so I could see if it was a card saying you're getting rid of what doesn't serve you, okay, as it relates to friendships. But planning and organizing for the greater good? Huh, interesting, right? Okay, so this is why I asked, were those friendships for TV? I believe this card supports those friendships are for TV. She's planning and organizing friendships for TV. Because, like I said, when Dr. Jackie began to open up and be friends for real with other members, I think she felt like her shine and light, her being Dr. Simone, shine and light was being like siphoned off, taken away, being dimmer or whatever. Shit, heck, everybody's dim standing next to Dr. Heavenly. I mean, Dr. Heavenly's loud and crazy, and she does it on purpose, and she even admits to it. So, that's how she solidifies her position. Although I believe I heard her say once or twice that she was the one of the producers of the show, executive producers, and that it was when she said it, it was like a sly, slick jab at Mariah because she was saying something about she was gonna keep her position or something. Anyway, we ain't talking about that today. Not right now. I will get on Dr. Heavenly. I will. Her turn is coming. Anyway, so applying planning and organizing for the greater good as in terms of friendship, to me that fits right in with this TV friendship stuff. She wanted to go, she, Dr. Simone, our subject for today, wanted to be on a side where she could shine, and she organized it to for survival, okay? For survival. I believe, point blank period, because I'm not going to draw this out, point blank period, I feel like she didn't feel like she was a necessity on the side, because we all can see, and I'm saying side. I'll say, just to make this easy, all right? I'll say Dr. Jackie's side and Dr. Simone's side. Because honestly, I think that's when I saw the split. The split. Like a split down the middle. Like no denying it. Like someone literally drew a line in the sand. Okay. So on Dr. Jackie's side, Dr. Simone no longer saw where she could like shine bright and where she was needed, needed, needed. She didn't see that anymore. Besides the jealousy, because that jealousy of this is my friend, yes, that played a part. We all know that. And instead of her actually like coming out and saying that, she's using, oh, Dr. Heavenly disrespect my husband. All right, girl, whatever. Um, but besides all that, taking all of that away, there's still an underlying issue, which is that it's not lucrative anymore. Get what I'm saying? Because the cars don't lie. It wasn't lucrative anymore. So she had to go somewhere where she felt needed, where she could shine. And she already knew. And it was, I believe it was strategic. Um, they don't see it for Toya, and she knew she could shine bright over there. I do not know Toya in real life. All I know is what is presented on our television screens or mobile screens, iPad screens, computer screens, streaming screens. That's all I know. And her light is not shining very bright. Period. I personally have not seen a light shine on Toya bright at all. It's just that a mouth is loud, but that doesn't count as shining bright. So Dr. Simone knew darn well if she moved on over there that she would be the bright point. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's that planning and organizing for the greater good. The greater good, the greater good, I think, is for the check from the show. Um, because honestly, I think if Dr. Simone dropped out, I don't think we'd miss a beat. I really don't. Feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know and let us all know if a beat would be missed if Dr. Simone wasn't there. But I really believe this was all about planning and organizing for the greater good of her check and saving her butt. Like, let me get over here where I can, gather people and be the peacemaker and be the, the star. All right, so let's keep going. So, as a reminder, and I'm laughing because um, this line right here, the final challenge, reminds me of a video game antics. So the best possible outcome of the situation as it relates to the question of, is Dr. Simone having fake friendships for TV? The best of her friendships, and it's her energy that I channeled, okay? Um, the best of it is her preparing for the final challenge. Doesn't that totally sound like one of those video games back in, I think, the 90s? Um, so the final challenge. She's preparing herself for what she knows will be the final encounter with this particular challenge. And we're talking about friendship. I believe it to be Jackie. This card says that she's not certain of the outcome, but is prepared to give all that she can. All right. But my question is, did she do that in real life, though? Okay. It's TV versus real life. And like I said, this would be the best of it. So this is her weighing her options. So the but also knowing that this season coming up, which is what we're in right now. I'm talking about the season that we're in right now. Knowing that she's going to have to face Dr. Jackie and the friendship, because it appeared as though they made up last reunion that they had. It, 1 minute it looked like they were both crying and saying, kind of like, okay, then, then if we don't be friends, well, she was trying to do, Dr. Simone was trying to do that. If we ain't friends, then we ain't friends, and remember, you guys, Dr. Jackie was like, well, if this show has messed up our friendship, then I will quit the show. And Andy, I think he pooped on himself. I think he pooped on himself. He said, quit the show. You would quit the show to be friends? Now that sounds like a man who ain't never had a friend in his life. Allegedly. Look at that red bar at the bottom. But why he wanted to jump out of his skin? Quit the show to be friends? And if you don't calm yourself, real friends, that anyway, it don't look like he could tell a real friend from a rock. Anyway, moving right along though. But I'm just asking if you guys remember that whole thing, and they hugged and cried, and Simone was like, oh, you ain't gotta quit the show, oh my goodness, so preparing for the final challenge in her mind is, okay, so we haven't talked this whole time off, we're getting ready to have cameras in our face, I have to face this and make a decision. And here's the thing, I believe her decision, I believe her, this is my opinion, that her decision was already made up. I think she did some strategic mathematics and thinking, because Dr. Heavenly always want to say that, Dr. Simone's just jealous of Jackie. And maybe she is. I don't know. Allegedly. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not in their real life. I'm just going off of what they say and what the information that I'm privy to, that we're all privy to on social media. Dr. Heavenly always says Dr. Simone is jealous of Dr. Jackie. There is always, how they say there's always room for jello? There's always room for jealousy, okay? Because we never know what people's triggers are. Like, there could be a person who seems to have nothing, but trust me, there's someone jealous of them. They could be jealous of their happiness. They may not have anything materialistic, but they may have a smile on their face every day. And that sad sack is jealous of the smile every day. So we don't know. We cannot say conclusively. That's just Dr. Heavenly's story, allegedly, and all that. So what I'm saying is, it's evident that with her feeling like the best of the situation is for me to prepare for this final challenge. First of all, why is it final? Okay, can we talk about that? It's final? Is that your friend or not? Your friend or not? So that's weird. And then you're preparing for it, which reinforces the fact that, what they were saying, like, y'all didn't talk that whole time after the reunion. They said they didn't talk. But Simone was trying to make it seem like they were cool. And then the other side is saying, but y'all didn't talk. Like, y'all not cool. Like, what are you talking about? So what is this planning and strategy and stuff? That's why it feels like it is, the TU for TV or whatever. Because if you guys can recall with these shows that we've had so far this season, she's always the one trying to be the peacemaker. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that used to be Jackie? Didn't it used to be Dr. Jackie? I hope you guys are nodding your heads or doing an audible yes, because it used to be Dr. Jackie, to my recollection. And so Dr. Simone wants that shine. That's fine. You know, like I said, the cards say that she was planning and organizing and basically, to me, solidifying her position. And the best of it is preparing for the final challenge. The final challenge is facing the friendship on camera um, with Dr. Jackie. And it's like, are you going to be truthful or not? And the shade was oozing when she didn't invite Dr. Jackie to the graduation party or the I'm saying graduation party. I don't know if it was graduation or the farewell party, whatever party. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you watch the show. Her son going off to college, the going off to college party. That was shady, dirty, and unnecessary. And Dr. Jackie's the one that delivered him. All I was gonna say, y'all, was his big head. But allegedly, I don't know. I never met him or his head. But I'm just saying, like, that was dirty. But now we see her like changing. But is she changing for real or is it just for TV? That's the question. Please drop down in the comments and tell me. Because the next point I'm gonna talk about all this preparing for the final challenge, honey. She all up on IG. Now, is the IG helping her prepare? She on IG talking a bunch of mess. She didn't used to do that. Where did that come from? I wonder. And also, I'm going to point out, yes, Dr. Heveling talks a bunch of mess. I don't think she be on IG. I be seeing her blog on YouTube. But Dr. Heveling been doing that for like the last 3 seasons. Okay? For sure. She's been doing it the last 3 seasons. And Dr. Simone is jumping in the mess now. And I'm saying mess because when Dr. Simone does it, I haven't seen her do it by herself. I haven't seen it organized. Like, and when I say organized, I mean Dr. Heavenly. Well, when she started out, she was sitting there, and it was like she had thought out. It was like well thought out and everything. Now she's in a closet and just be cussing and talking crazy. All right, like a old woman who done had too much whiskey or wine or something. No, that ain't wine. That's whiskey or what's she like? Crown Royal. She done sip too much sips of Crown Royal or something. Like I said, I'm gonna do a video on her too. But my point is that Dr. Heavenly been doing this, and Dr. Simone just started. Why? And she never does. I never see her alone. She talks mess. Are people pumping her up to do it? But why? What is that? Is that how she really feels? Is this pressure for let me try to stay on the show and get in this and get in the game and talk a little mess on social media to, make myself relevant? Are these friendships fake for TV? What are you doing? Because you guys subtract, what is her story? Lord, I was going to say backstory. I don't need the backstory. You know what? It might be. Maybe she do need to tell a backstory. Okay, maybe she do need to tell us a story to make us cry or something. I see Contessa trying her best to make us cry. Um, what is Dr. Simone doing? Let's go to the next card. This one is a very interesting card. It is in the worst position. Worst meaning the worst outcome as it relates to this decision of are the friendships faking for TV or are they real? Main focus being Dr. Jackie and from Dr. Simone's point of view. So we have the Knave of Chalice and he is looking, looks like in a pond, and he's looking at his reflection. So we can easily determine the focus is on yourself. All right. So what is this person thinking about themselves? So let me tell you right now, it showed up in reverse. I wanted to present the card upright so that you can see how the picture looks upright. Now let's talk about it. Okay. So what I honestly think, what I honestly think, um, okay, so like I told you guys previously, the card in the worst position is the Knave of Chalice, and it's in reverse, and it means being overly sensitive. She doesn't want to show her feelings, and I think, I mean, because this is saying that this is what she thinks would be the worst possible outcome, is to like show her feelings, which is crazy, which is why like it's like she's trying to be tough. And it's not necessary. Well, actually, okay. They're both trying to be tough. Spirit said they both trying to be tough. Yes, because remember they had that. Contessa had that crystal healing party, and when Dr. Jackie saw uh, Dr. Simone come in, they both, it was like awkward. Well, actually, Dr. Jackie didn't say awkward. Dr. Simone said awkward. And Dr. Jackie was like, oh, I want to say hi. I want to run up to her and talk to her, but it just doesn't feel welcoming. And, that's how Dr. Jackie explained it. And then Dr. Simone was like, awkward, just looking at me. And it's like, girl, stop, stop, stop. Disarm yourself. Like, just stop. And I really kind of wished that Dr. Jackie would have just ran up and just hugged her and they could have just cried it out. I bet they both would have just cried it out. It might be in a better place right now, today. Um, Putting up the wall, and I said this in my last Tarot Spills the Tea about Luann and Ebony or whatever. The cameras make people try, I feel the cameras make people try to be hardcore and harder than what they would be, because as it relates to the last one with Luann and Ebony, I feel like Luann could have, um, she would have been less Luann-ish if there were no cameras. Same here. I feel like um, Dr. Simone wouldn't have been so trying to go hard in the paint if it was no cameras. Anyway, let me not drag this out. So, the worst in her mind would be being overly sensitive. And I wonder, what does that even look like? So it just says that it's shy, hesitant, and feeling a little bit awkward. All right. So what this person would do is release any pressure that they would feel about moving forward and in that direction, to feel the feels. The feels are going to make them feel awkward. They're hesitant in going in that direction because they don't want to feel awkward. Okay? So, what that looks like is that they just wouldn't put in the effort to work it out, because they would be avoiding that whole breakdown of, ooh, Spirit told me to tell you. The example they want me to give is the Portia and Nene, when Portia said, oh my gosh, Steve, I don't even remember what she said. I missed you. I wanted to talk to you or something. If you guys seen it, then you know. And if you didn't see it, I think Kenya and Candy, they probably still somewhere talking about it, because that's all they talked about in their little headshot interviews. It was pathetic. But she said something about, I've been wanting to talk to you or something like that. It was a full tear hug breakdown. And actually, when I saw it, and let me say this, I did not watch this last season, not because Nene wasn't there. It's just, I just wasn't interested. Okay. Um, I just wasn't interested any longer in that at all. I don't want to, I wasn't interested. I'm going to leave it at that. But I did see the scene. Um, I think it was a year before. I was gonna say either 1 year or 2 years before, prior, where Nene and Portia made up, and when they hugged, they were crying, and Portia said something about I wanted to talk to you or something like that. Anyway, the mean girls, Kenya and Candy, were just making fun of that, making fun of it, making fun of it, making fun of it. Okay, so I'm not the only ones with eyeballs that saw that and ears that heard that. So it seems like Dr. Simone doesn't want a scene like that. Like, that would be the worst. That's what's the worst in her mind. Being seen as overly sensitive and everything. And anyway, moving right along. So I don't know. Like, this is all about the friendship. Is it fake or is it real? Is it for TV? What is it? Let's move right along. Okay. So the last position for this spread is what's to come. It's represented by 8 of chalices. So I want you guys to look at the photo, the imagery. It looks like she's trying to figure some stuff out. Organize, delegate. That's been the energy like throughout this whole entire thing. Not thing, but the reading, just trying to figure it out, planning, and trying to see where the opportunity is at. And I can see that in this picture. What's to come? She's just trying to. Oh, no, they didn't. Spirit said get in where she fit in. Oh, now that's sad because if that's the case, that means she doesn't feel like she fits in. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And I kind of felt that in the last card where in the imagery they were looking at themselves, the reflection in the water, but it was reversed. So it's like, okay, so you're trying to turn something, you're trying to block something. You don't want to see what you saw, which we seen in that previous card. You know, she doesn't want to be seen as overly sensitive. She's trying to block and prevent those feelings from coming out. She really does. She genuinely does miss the friendship, and she does miss Dr. Jackie. I think she's just trying to be hard. And so it's like, no, I don't want to reflect. So that's why that card was reversed. It was blocked. Those feelings were blocked. She's trying to block them. Um, so what's to come? 8 of chalices. And as you can see, she still seems to be in that. And actually, this looks slightly frantic. Okay, so moving right along, it was in reverse. So let's discuss it. What this card represents in reverse is that she's clinging to something that is no longer useful. All right. So what's to come means this is what's to come of the decision that she's gonna make or is making, has made in reference to friendship status and how much weight she puts on the friendship she has as they relate to her cast. I see her, what this spread is saying, she's moving more and more and more towards its business, its work. And I know, and it's not just me, I'm sure we've all heard some of these people, not just on Married to Medicine, but other shows, reality shows, where they say, this is work. They are my coworkers. I have to show up with my coworkers or castmates. And it's really unfortunate when they get to talking like that because it takes away, it chips at the element of it being reality when you start saying it's work. Okay, like, do you have a script? What are you talking about? But that's part of the reason why I showed this image right side up. Is she looking for her script, her plan, her notes on what to do in the next quote unquote scene? I mean, what is this? To me, a reality show, you don't need to be doing all this heavy thinking and planning and organizing. You don't need to do that. It should just come natural. It should just come natural. But as we know and have seen, and I believe Mr. Andy to the Cohan, allegedly, he's put pressure on these people to do stunts, to do stunts, to try to keep their job and be strategic. They have to be strategic because reality TV didn't used to have all of this planning and stuff in it and organizing and whose side are you going to be on and let me play this role. Like they trying to figure out what role they play and where they fit in at. Like why can't you just roll out of bed and be yourself? Yawn, stretch, take a shower, cook breakfast and be yourself. Oh, you'll get kicked off because you would be labeled boring. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? I wouldn't make it on one because I would just be myself. Now, if somebody come at me crazy, I would, I would tell them Jesus loves you. Anyway, moving right along, because we ain't talking about me. So, clinging to something that is no longer useful. That's what's to come. So we have to ask, like, what is that? What I feel it is, the message I'm getting is this that whatever, because I there's something that happened behind the scenes. I don't know, honey, I know I just said it like I was there, like I was getting ready to really break it down. Sorry, I'm not. I wasn't there. I'm just talking about what spirit is telling me. So there is an element that's a little deeper with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone that we're not privy to, and she's hanging on to that. She's hanging on to that. She's hanging on, hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. I don't know what happened. Something happened where, what's her name feels like she wasn't there for her. Dr. Simone feels like Dr. Jackie wasn't there for her. And I'm not talking about, we already know about the heavenly, whatever that mess is. That's not it. That is not it. I am telling you, that is not it. That's what she's using. And I feel like, because when I look in Dr. Jackie's eyes, on television, on television. I got that HD huge screen on television. They know what it is. Dr. Simone is hurt, and I feel like Dr. Jackie has apologized, and because remember she even said she would quit the show. So it's kind of like at this point, I don't think Dr. Jackie knows what else can I do. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, something's in the background. Something's in the background. Something is playing out in the background that they said we will never know. That's okay. That's okay. But we'll never know, but I'm here to tell you it's more than just you're friends with heavenly and you know, you know, um so what's to come, she's clinging to something that is no longer useful, and that is whatever she's upset with Dr. Jackie about. She's clinging on to that, and it is not serving her any good, and she needs to let it go. Moving on. We are at the energy card. The energy card is the energy influence that influenced all of those previous cards in those positions that we just went over. And it is the Seven of Chalice, which is known for the Seven of Cups. Now, and I don't believe I said this in the very beginning, but this deck is a different deck. It does mimic, the Rider-Waite, but it's not Rider-Waite. They mean something else. Sometimes almost entirely they mean something else. The Seven of Chalice, as the energy influence, I'll admit, at first I was concerned when I saw it. I was like, ooh, girl, really? Okay, that's your energy, girl. But it mimics the same exact thing that the card in the past position said. This one says, not all opportunities are what they seem. So that tells us this is her energy. She is remembering, reminiscing, and holding on to and clinging to something that happened in the past that wasn't lucrative. Because remember, you guys, the past said an opportunity is not as lucrative as it appears. Her energy is that of not all opportunities are what they seem. The card right before this one said she needed to let go of something that has ended. And actually, I didn't finish that. It says, like, you gotta let, and this is really common, you gotta let go of that in order to start something new and fresh. This lady is hanging on to some kind of event or incident that maybe she felt like Dr. Jackie was not there for her on, and she's hurt. And I really don't think, I feel like I can hear you guys saying, like, the Cecil thing. I don't feel like it's that. It's something, it's layers to this. It's layers to it, you guys. It's not just that, and that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay? But it's not just that. It's not just that, I'm telling you. Oh, if I did a clarifier, I'd be all up in this woman's business. But that's her energy right there. Not all opportunities are what they seem. And that goes right back. It connects directly with the past about our opportunities not being lucrative as they appeared to be. So, and then this card warns to be weary of people's influence on your decisions. Okay? Because really, this card is about having lots of choices. The Seven of Chalice is about choices and temptation, and some are good, some are bad, and all of that. Um, in this deck, it highlights not all opportunities are what they seem, and it highlights that you're being influenced by other people. And it's saying, like, don't let other people influence your decisions. So this is the energy. So, you know, I'm not surprised that, she's over there with the other group. That's what I'll call them. Y'all know who it is. The Toyas and I don't even know who all up over there. Those backdrops. I call them backdrops. I can't remember their names. The backdrops. Um, one vanilla, one mocha. Um, Lisa and Carrie. Yeah. I'm sorry. I could not remember their name. I could see them in my head. I just couldn't. The names didn't come. But anyway, so, not surprised to hear that someone's trying to, but I don't know those people in real life. This is all alleged. I'm just reading the cards, and that's what's going on. So let's move on. As I wrap this up, let me say in conclusion, I feel like she is doing it for TV. Yes, Dr. Simone's friendships are fake for TV. She took time out. She planned it, had a strategy. I can see her at a board like a football coach with X's and O's, making uh, moves. What do they call them? In a playbook, moves or whatever. Baby, I see it. That's what she did. But she really is afraid to be vulnerable on camera, and she's holding on so tightly to something where she feels like she was betrayed by Dr. Jackie that we don't know about. Okay? But Dr. Simone, if you're listening, you can get a private reading with me or Dr. Jackie or whoever, if you want to know, if you really want to know. I have a deck designed by me that will clarify everything. But I won't tell your business out here like that. All right. So what you're looking at right now is a magnet that I designed. and there's a variation of 5 different ones. They are for $4 each. That includes the shipping and handling and taxes, just $4. And the image right now that you're looking at doesn't do it justice. It's so beautiful. I took all the photos, and it is either a Bible quote or a quote from me on top of a photo that I took during my walking meditations. You can find them at my website on unapologeticallysage.com, the menu tab, Unsay Merch Store. All right. And they measure 5 by 4. Okay. So they're not little. They're not tiny. All right. They are big enough to look at the scenery, look at the imagery, read the quote. I made them big enough. Okay. So that you can see it. All right. $4 out the door. What more can you ask for? And they're also beautiful and good for just I don't know about you guys, but I like to do just because gifts. So they're nice for a just because gift. Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sages, for all of your support. If you like what you heard, like what you saw, appreciate my work that I put into this and my commentary, please click like and go ahead and click subscribe. And please don't be shy. Check out my other videos, all right? I have other videos that are about empowerment and that are about choices, insights on choices. And I have the singles where I read for singles. I have the love forecast for couples, and just a lot of insights. So just explore my channel and then go ahead and explore my website, unapologeticallysage.com. So don't forget to click subscribe and like. And again, thank you very much for your support. And please be safe, you guys. Please. Thank you, and bye-bye. Until next time.